Hi golfers, Nick here from American Golf and down at the entry store today, and today I have with me the Taylormade Rescue M4 and Taylormade GAPR Hi. So both of these clubs are 22 degrees. They're both designed very differently in terms of shape and size, and also the way they're sort of made inside. So M4 Rescue launched earlier this year. It's been probably my best selling rescue club or hybrid type club at American Golf this year. Easy to hit, looks great, performs well. So I'm just comparing it today with the GAPR Hi. So I've had a few people ask me the question, what's the difference? Both of these are 22 degrees. So first thing you would say is GAPR Hi, slightly different shape, looks smaller behind the ball, it looks quite smart behind the ball. It features speed foam and it's adjustable. So we're going to see what the difference is between these clubs in terms of performance. Looks wise, I do really like the look of the GAPR Hi, but I'm going to see how it performs. So I'm going to hit 3 shots each with both of these with standard swings. Then I'm going to hit 3 off the toe and 3 off the heel with both of these golf clubs. See which one is more forgiving, look at the ball data, see what the difference is between these golf clubs. Obviously both of these 22 degrees. The GAPR is adjustable, but I've got it on the standard setting. So we've got TP5 golf balls, GC2. So let's see what happens. So first up, I'm going to hit the M4 Rescue. So standard swings. Okay, pretty good shot that, a little bit off the bottom, but it's gone pretty straight, pitched around 210. Maybe wasn't my best hit ever, but still pretty good, 140 ball speed. More solid hit, just pushed it out to the right a little bit. 203 carry, so a bit of a push that one. 141 ball speed. Fast. Okay, one more. That felt sweet. Just drawing back. That was a pretty good shot. Pitched 213, I think. Total 227. Ball speed 144. So that's 3 shots with the M4 hybrid. Let's move on to the GAPR. Okay, pretty good performance from the M4 Rescue. So GAPR Hi, this is how this compares. So 3 standard shots to begin with. Behind the ball, I think this does look awesome, nice shape, slightly smaller profile to the M4. I do prefer the look of it, but let's see how it performs. Felt really solid, just slight overdraw, probably similar to that last one with the M4. Pitch around 209, similar sort of carry distance. Ball speed 143, maybe slightly up. That was a good hit. Didn't quite strike that. Ball speed probably dropped slightly, but still pitch over 210. Yeah, ball speed drops a lot there, 135. Spin rate drops as well. So bit of a miss hit that one, but still sort of performed if you like. Okay, a little bit off the bottom, a bit like that first shot I hit with the M4. Still pretty straight, pitched around the 200 mark. Rolled out to 214, ball speed 139. So sort of 3 standard shots there, as standard as I could do it. Obviously a couple of miss hits there with the GAPR Hi, so maybe this club's a little bit harder to hit. I hit 1 shot off the bottom with the M4, I hit 1 shot off the bottom with the GAPR Hi. But feel wise, the one I hit, like the first shot I hit with the GAPR Hi felt so good off the face, like ball speed jumped off the chart there. So what we're going to do now is try and hit some deliberate shots now off the toe and the heel, see what the difference is, see how forgiving both of these golf clubs are. So we're going to hit M4 deliberately off the toe now, see how forgiving this golf club is. Wow. Off the toe that, you can see the ball start out right, but draw back in. That was a pretty good golf shot. Okay, that felt like I almost missed that one right off the toe that. Still pitched at 190, obviously went way out to the right. One more. Similar to that second one. Still pitch around 190. So that's 3 shots there with the M4 rescue off the toe. First one was sort of towards the toe, and then the last 2 were right off the toe. So you saw the difference in the ball flight there. Let's see if we can do a similar test with the GAPR Hi. So we're going to hit 3 shots now with the GAPR Hi off the toe. Now, the design of this golf club is shaped differently. It's sort of deeper in the toe on this one, so it'd be interesting to see how this performs with these toe shots. You saw with the M4 there, the 2 that I hit right off the toe did push way out to the right, but still pitched around 190. So lost about maybe 10-15 yards in distance. So see what happens with this GAPR Hi. Okay, felt really solid. Okay, slightly toe bias that, maybe a bit like that first one with the M4, so that was a pretty good shot. Still, that was pretty good. Right, let's try and go a bit more off the toe. Okay, a bit more of a push that one, but does feel maybe a bit more solid. That was quite almost on the edge of the toe there. Pretty good test that one. Still pitched just under 200. Okay, one more off the toe. Okay, that was sort of low toe, way out to the right. Still pitched around 200. So first impressions, I think off the toe, GAPR Hi looks a little bit more forgiving. So let's see what it's like out the heel. Let's finally test out the heel. So M4 first of all, 3 shots. Okay, so right off the heel, that low heel, still distance-wise pretty good, but you can see that wasn't a great shot. Still 137 ball speed. Rolled out to 219. Okay, similar sort of shot. Still getting a bit of yardage off this side. 219 again. Okay, one more. Okay, so that's a bit more closer to the middle of that. So the shot's right off the heel, like way off the heel. You can see the difference in the ball flight now. That was only slightly off the heel. So let's see if I can do a similar test with the GAPR. Okay, finally, so GAPR Hi off the heel. Again, slightly deeper maybe in the heel compared to the M4, but certainly not as deep as the toe. So smaller head. Let's see what this is like off the out the heel. Okay, straight out to the left. It's more solid feel, probably because it's slightly deeper. Get out to the left. Slightly heel bias, maybe not quite as off the heel as that first one. Okay, let's get one right up the heel there. Okay, right off the heel that. Yeah, good test that. So you can see way out to the left. Now, it's going to be interesting when we sit down and take a look at that data. Like, first impressions, the toe and the heel strikes feel a bit better with the GAPR Hi. I don't know if that's because of the deeper face or what, but let's sit down now and take a look at that data in a little bit more detail. Okay, so you see me hit a few shots there on the GC2. So to start with, we're just going to take a look at sort of the standard shots that I hit. Now, on the data, obviously I tried to do this test as fair as possible. I did hit a couple of low ones with both of these golf clubs. It was probably quite a good test, still out in the middle, but just a bit lower on the face, and obviously that will bring down the averages. But let's take a look at the averages to start with. So ball speed, slightly higher with the M4, so 142 average with M4 compared to 139 average with the GAPR Hi. If we look at the top speed with both of those golf clubs, 144 M4 and 143 with the GAPR, so definitely slightly higher ball speed with the M4 for me. We look at the launch angles, 11.7 average with GAPR and 10.3 average with the M4, so slightly high launching with the GAPR. When we take a look at the backspin, just over 5,000 with the M4 and 4.5 with the GAPR. So you would say, just looking at that first glance, high launching GAPR and low spinning. Now, looking at the distances, first of all, if we look at carry distance, average of 205 with the GAPR and 208 with the M4. So slightly longer with the M4, but I probably did bring down the average with that GAPR at the end there, and I hit that one a little bit low on the face. But still, if you look at the top distance with the M4, 213 carry compared to 210 with the GAPR. So you'd say on those standard swings, M4 probably just edged it. But again, so similar. I think it would come down to more the individual, how they feel with the confidence behind the ball. Obviously, the M4 is a bigger head when you set it behind the ball. Now, what I thought was interesting is when we moved on to those toe and heel strikes, and then when you look at the design of these heads up close, like behind the ball, the M4 does look massive, and I think that's because of the sort of the bigger back to it, if you like. The GAPR is slightly shaped differently. When you look at the face, you can see how much deeper the toe is on the GAPR compared to the M4, and I think that did reflect in sort of the strikes that hit. Off the heel, slightly deeper as well. In terms of the length of the face, slightly longer with M4, but obviously shaped differently. So let's take a look at that data, those toe strikes to begin with. So with both of the clubs, I tried to do it as fair as possible. I think with both of them, I hit two like way out the toe and one slightly out the toe. So let's take a look at the averages. So M4 out the toe, 135 ball speed average compared to 138 with the GAPR. So slightly higher ball speed with the GAPR. It did feel more solid off the face. Launch angle, both of them around 12. Backspin, 5.6 for the GAPR, 5.8 for the M4. So not much difference in launch and spin. Distance wise, we're looking at 199 carry with the GAPR and 192 carry with the M4. So you would say for the average shots there, it did feel off the face more solid with the GAPR off the toe, and I think that's to do with the design of the head, like slightly deeper out the toe, and I think that did perform a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I thought in forgiveness, I thought the M4 was going to be by far the more forgiving out of the two, and I think probably on the lower shots off the face, the M4 was maybe a little bit more forgiving, but certainly out the toe, I think that GAPR did perform well. So finally, let's move on. Let's look at the heel strikes. So we moved on to the heel strikes again. So let's take a look at the averages first of all. So ball speed, 138 average with M4, 136 average with the GAPR. The launch angle was a lot higher with the GAPR. You can see there on the screen there, 13.5 with the GAPR compared to 6.7 average. I hit one really low. I hit the first two really low, to be fair, with the M4. I hit two like way out the heel. So I would say the feel wise for me, it felt more solid with the GAPR. Backspin, 4.7 with the GAPR, 4.1 with the M4, and distance 189 average with the M4, a 199 average with the GAPR. So you would say on like performance wise that the toe and heel strikes definitely a bit more better performance, I think, out of the GAPR, and I think that's to do with the shape on the head, and like you would think that the more forgiving club would be the M4, and I think that's I was a little bit surprised with the numbers and the feel of the face. I thought the GAPR did perform really well. Shots sort of lower on the face, the M4 does perform really well. It's easy to hit. It's I've sold loads of those golf clubs. I think they're quite forgiving in terms of direction, but in terms of strikes across the face, I think the GAPR is probably just edging it in performance. So I'd be interested to hear what your thoughts there. So summary, standard shots, M4 performs slightly better, but toe and heel, by far the GAPR was a better club for me. So I think it's worth you guys out there just trying these golf clubs out, see what you think from your point of view. Obviously we're going to be getting these in at American Golf from the 7th of September for the demos. They launch in the UK on the 20th. We are still offering double value trading and 0% finance, so head down to your local American Golf, give these golf clubs a try and let me know how you get on.